Okay, welcome back to day 304. Yeah, 304. I'm at the point in this where I'm like so close to being done, where I'm like, can it be done yet? It's like when you have like 15 minutes more of like work and you're like, okay, we're done, right? Like, we're done here. It's like that. I'm like, are we done here? But not quite like, oh, 3 minutes left, like, okay, let's just do it. It's like, no, it's far enough away that you're like, can we just be done? Can we just be done, like, now, though? Can we have those few minutes right now? Can we just be done? So that's where I'm at right now with this. I was driving back from the store, because my sibling, blah, 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 I went to the store, I did the pickup for the store. And yes, because of COVID-19, thank you to them. And so yes, so COVID-19. And so what happened was I was driving back out the driveway and I see something and it's like, yeah, just big, you know? And I'm like, okay, what is it? And I'm like, it's a freaking toad, isn't it? I'm like, I can't run over it. And I was like, but you don't know it's a toad. I'm like, yes. So you get out of your car, but my driveway's a little crooked. I'm like, I park and do the emergency brake just to see if it is a toad, and then, and I'm terrified it will just start, my car will just start rolling. I'm like, or I can just go around him, kind of touch the grass and drive. Like, I'm driving like this, toad's in the way, so I went like this, and there's a bunch of trees here. We're trying to hit those, and I go back onto my driveway and continue up, and I'm like, I hope I missed it. I hope I didn't hit him with my back wheel. I hope, because I'm like, at this point, I'm like, what if I did hit him with my back wheel? And I think I missed him with my front wheel. What about my back wheel? And I'm like, oh my god, what if? I turned back onto the driveway too quickly, and I was like, oh my god. So what happened is, after I go with my flashlight, and I'm like, where is it? Where is it? And I'm like, huh, I can't see it, but I love, you can see the drops from the air conditioning of the car. You can just see it go straight, and then go to the side, and then go back. So you can like see where I drove. So I look where I dodged it, and I see him, and it's this big toad. The pictures I took doesn't look like he's big, it looks like he's tiny. But I poked him because he's like, oh, I know how to not get hit by a car, by going flat. And going flat makes me think that you are more likely to be a leaf. So I go, and I'm like, hello, and I poke him, and he didn't move at first, and I was like, oh my god, I did run him over, he just didn't pop. But no, he looked at me like, the heck? And I'm like, oh, you're fine? And he's like, yeah, would you stop blinding me with your flashlight? So I poked him until he hopped, and he hopped into the grass, and I showed my mom, because she actually came out right away, not to help, but to take out trash. I'm like, I'm back with groceries, but okay. So I showed her the hop frog that hopped into the grass, and I'm like, it's big, it was a big toad, it was big. Not the biggest ever in the world, but like, he's you know, usually we see the babies, the tiny little babies. So to see the big one, I was like, yes. So I poked him, and it was really cute. Yeah, in the dark, my siblings are always like, how do you take photos of, the animals in the dark? Like, you take a flash, like, do you just take a lot of photos? But I feel that, I'm like, no. You turn on camera recording, you hit the, have it with flash, a video with flash, and it will, like, on the, not on the screen, but like, if it's on the other side, like, not on the screen, but the other side of the, like, around when your photo, anyways, so it will have the flash, so it will just be a video with the flash. So what you just have to do is then just angle it where you want to take the photo with the, like, the flash on, light on, and then you just keep moving it until you get whatever you want, and then you can go through it and take screenshots. And those will be photos, like if you took a flash, but you're not actually doing constant like dark light, dark light, dark light, dark light. It'll just be like you're using a flashlight, and that's, I feel, way more ethical to the beings than doing the flashlight repeatedly, or the actual flash repeatedly. And it will come out 99% of the time. You just have to make sure you keep your camera still. Oop, a screenshot, boom, handled. Because if you're going like this, you can't screenshot it. It'll be all blurry. It might be an okay video, but it'll be blurry. But, so anyways, I got a picture of him, with him being so cute. And he's just like, please stop bothering me. Felt bad, but anyways, a big frog, toad, big toad. So, and then I think I saw a smaller one. But yeah, did I tell you, we went out the other day, we had to go out, and we drove up the driveway, and there was our trash cans there, and on the, behind the trash can, my sibling's like, is that a bug or is that a spider descending? And I look up, I'm like, where? And she's like, no, it's gone now, it's behind the trash can. I was like, okay. We come back again, like, we leave and come back, and we're back from where we had to go, and she's like, there, it's there, and I look, and I'm like, oh, that is big, because from the distance, you know, it's like, yo, but then you're like, well, a normal spider or bug, it would be invisible from here, so, math means it's pretty big. Okay, not that big, but it was pretty chunky. So I'm like, yeah. So I go, and I walk to the trash can with the light, and I'm like kind of underneath it, because he's high up in a tree to the trash can, and I'm looking, and it's a big spider, and so he's probably like still like 7 feet in front of me, up a certain amount. I don't know, quite a bit of feet up too. So he's at this perfect angle, and so in the distance, he's like this big. But if that far away, it's not a small, like, again, this is how big it was to me here, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, that's a chunky spider. And it was a spider, and I'm like, that is one chunky spider. Like, chunky. Because if I don't know, I'm trying to think. I guess, like, at least, like, 5 feet away from me. So I wonder what the math is, if it's a chunky spider 5 feet away, how much chunk would it grow close to me? Eyesight wise? I wouldn't know. I wouldn't even know how to ask Google how to calculate that. Anyways, yeah, I decided to, because I had it overseas, but apparently at least previously, you can switch your Spotify from a different country to a different country, like 2 different countries. You can't swap it. So I had to make a new account, but I used it because I would do public transportation all the time, and listen to music on the way to and fro. And the problem is that I deleted that because I couldn't use it. It was like, dude, you're in the wrong country. I'm like, dude, you're in the wrong country. I'm back in America. And they're like, yeah, but this isn't an American account. And I was like, okay. So, like an idiot, I let everything disappear. So I don't know what music I was listening to, what I was part of, what I was in the middle of, whatever. And I'm like, okay. But then, because I didn't really use Spotify all too much previously, and since, because in my car I have my radio, I'm pretty just keep it on, kind of a classic rock era kind of thing, classic rock, until it goes to country territory, because classic rock apparently is just a titch away from country in some songs, so I switch it there, but pretty much is essentially all that. And just because it's, for me, it's like, yeah, pretty good background noise, or it has some really nice jams, and I'm like, yes, because when it goes a little bit, classic, like, metal, I'm like, yes. Problem is, it is a metal, and I don't know what the metal channel is, and I'm like, well, I don't know where that is, so I don't really switch. So anyways, because I have pre-programmed channels, so I have like 3 classic rock kind of era channels, but since anyways, point was, there was Zone music, it was definitely metal, so it will never play on that channel again, but I'm so angry because it was such a nice classic metal sound, and I'm like, yes, that, and I don't know what the song was. So, okay, fair play. So anyways, so the point is that I started, I'm like, you know what, I usually just have a song or a channel or an artist and I'll look them up and play them, but I'm like, let me start liking things and stuff on Spotify. I obviously don't have premium because I don't. I know some people, you can download it onto computers, and Android, a kind of a not quite on the right side of legal. It's technically you're pirating the system, blah blah, who cares? I mean, I care, FBI, I care so deeply about big companies. I care. Anyways, point was that I don't have one of those, and that's sincere, I just don't, because I never needed one, who cares? And the thing was that I started liking music, and now I just have a huge playlist of music that I really like, and typically they all kind of mesh okay, but if you put that on random shuffle, sometimes you'll get the really like metal hardcore to then a very from the heart kind of more song, and it's like, interesting. So sometimes there is a little bit of a mood whiplash, and it's really funny to me. I don't have the biggest playlist, I don't have the biggest like songs, but I will just like songs and just let it be there, you know? Yeah. What else is there? What else? What else is fun? I had a nightmare that I didn't reschedule my thingy. My siblings like, you already did that. I'm like, what part of I called in the middle of the night and they said I need to call during the day? And I haven't, because I don't know if it's open. It wasn't, if they were open on weekends. So I didn't call them yet. And I'm just like, what part of during the week? 7 to 7, don't you understand? And she's like, oh, I just assumed you did. I was like, no, no, I didn't. She's like, I don't know how long you stay up. I'm like, you think I stay up past 7 in the morning? Also, that's a lie. You typically wake up at 6 in the morning. So you think that I'm up longer. I'm in my room when you wake up at 6 a.m. I'm asleep. So you... I think she was half joking, but I'm like, no. So, yeah, I don't want to do anything. But I need to water all these plants. I need to water. Oh my goodness. Oh. Duh. I I thought I missed someone on Animal Crossing yesterday. But I don't play every day, but when I do play, I like to get the person that was daily on my island. And I'm like, oh, I'm a little sad that there's no one daily on my island today. Like, I must have missed them. It was after 10. No, it was Sunday. Like, where did my weekend go? God, What We Do in the Shadows is a funny show. Like, it's a funny TV show. Definitely watch it. It is totally 100% mature humor every single time. Only mature humor. I mean, it's rated mature, but I meant mature humor as in they would definitely nothing juvenile. I love that. I really do have bad eyesight. Yeah, does it ever just hit you how bad your eyesight is? Because, let me tell you, it does hit me. Yeah, I am low-key dying, as always. I'm a little groggy because, as always, because my cat, I'm standing there, and my cat just like, monk, and he just headbutted my leg, and I'm like, excuse me, he's a very big cat, I'm like, excuse me, and he's like, boop, and he put his head back on me, and was like, then like he walked to make sure his whole body would touch my leg, and I'm just like, I'm very allergic to you, bud, and he's like, the problem is his tail, because he's walking along, his tail is sticking up, not fully, but like up in the air, like rubbing against my leg. He's tall enough to hit like my hip butt area with his tail, and I'm like, it's bad enough that you hit the bottom of like near my like knee down with your body, but you're really gonna go and have such a tall tail that you're not only just on the kind of up my leg, you gotta hit like right, I don't know, they're not hips, I guess they're like top of my thighs, top of my thigh area too, like that's how tall you have to be, that's how tall you are, huh? Like, he's big, he's a big cat, very funny, yeah, he's huge, because people will be like, look at my cat, and I'm like, that's not a cat, that's so tiny, why do you have such a tiny little cat? And they're like, this is a normal sized cat. I'm like, no, I have a cat. What does that make him? And people were like, big. He's big. So I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. Like my aunt, she got 2 cats, and they're normal size. And they're like, aren't they so big? And I'm like, they're half the size of our cat. They're not big. I mean, give it, one of them's very fluffy. But they're not big. So, goodbye.